sound to,
It sounded like Biden, didn't it?
yeah.
There was oh gosh, you should have seen it. I can't remember where I saw it. It was on Facebook, and it had a girl, little, I'd say tween girl, between, 10 and teenager. I guess she was 12, 13 years old. She had this shirt, and it had Biden's logo on it. It was that light blue, and it said, "Hiding from Biden." Biden plays fifth, boy. He gonna beat Trump like a drum. He can't even win in Iowa or New Hampshire. Oh Lord, it's gonna be funny to watch that. It's gonna be funny. All right, I need to shut up before somebody complains. Here we go. Odds. Now, I only care about odds against, because that's the only thing I'm going to test you on. So, and the odds in favor are the reciprocal. And you always want to work with fractions when you're working with odds. Okay? Let's do this in red. Okay? Usually, I focus on odds against. Why do I focus on odds against? That don't look right. Did I spell that right? It's funny. And always work with fractions, because you'll see why in just a minute. Odds against is the probability of failure over the probability of success. Success in these questions is defined most of the time as winning. Okay, when you have one of these questions, they're going to say, what are the odds against winning, picking a king out of a deck of cards? So picking a king would be winning. Not picking a king would be what?
Losing.
Losing, which is the failure. Okay, so you could put, if you wanted to put up here, probability of losing over the probability of winning. You could do that if you wanted to, and that would be a little bit more contextually accurate toward the question. Okay? Now I'm just going to give you the odds in favor, but the odds in favor is the reciprocal of odds against. So you just flip-flop it. And I'm just going to write that small because I really don't care about that. Odds of success, or odds in favor, sorry. Odds in favor is the probability of success over the probability of failure, or the probability of winning over the probability of losing. So that's pretty much, and I'll probably, and I can tell you right now, your test is going to be broken, Unit 2 test is going to be broken up pretty much into 4 parts, maybe 5. You'll get a couple of questions from, 4. You'll get several questions from basic probability. Then you'll get 5, Then you'll get several questions from odds. Then you'll get several questions from the additive property, several questions from the multiplicative property, and several questions from counting, which will be factorial. Okay, so you're talking, if I was to give you 30 questions on the test, which it'd be 40 questions because 10, 12 of them would be bonus questions. If I was to give you 30 questions on the test, you're talking about 6 questions from each of the things we're going over, okay? And here, I gave you several examples of probability questions with the cards, with the die, with the girl, 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 boy, 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 that kind of thing. Okay, that's the kind of questions I would ask. So let's do a question here. And I'm just going to pull up the whiteboard and we'll do a roulette question. Let me just go ahead and just do this. Let me get rid of this. There. And there's the probability, of course, probability of success over the probability of failure. Probability of failure over the probability of success. Now, if you want to write it like that, that's fine, but I don't write it confusingly. I write it probability of failure over success. Okay, we'll go to this one in just a minute. I want to go to the whiteboard now, and I want to pull up a roulette wheel so you'll know what some of y'all that's lived a sheltered life don't know what a roulette wheel looks like. So I'll pull one up for you, and then we'll do a problem. Why am I skipping this one and going to a roulette wheel? Because a roulette wheel is what I've asked you on a test. If I could ever get there. Let's go to a roulette wheel. Where it is. R-U-L-E-T-T-E, roulette wheel.
You have a work email.
So those of you that don't know what a roulette wheel is, there it is. And I'd like to find one with 2, 0, and 00. There we go. We'll do that. And save image as, downloads. Then we'll go to the whiteboard. This would be much easier with a poster. I'd have to call it. And downloads. All right, there's a roulette wheel. And we'll just cut that bottom part. Okay, there's a roulette wheel. Now, if you want to draw that, draw it somehow, I don't care. But the big thing you need to notice about these things, there's red, there's black, and then there's the 0 and the 00. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Make those three, observations. Now, you can have as many numbers as you want. I need somebody to look. I'm looking for 36. There's 36. Anybody see a 37 or a 38? Most of the time it's 36. Okay.
It's just 36.
So, I don't see. Does anybody see a 37?
No.
Usually, they go up to 36. Some have 38, some have 40, but usually they go up to 36. So the question will say, a roulette wheel has numbers spaced in red and black from 1 to 36. So you need to write that down. So a roulette wheel has numbers from 1 to 36. Roulette wheel has numbers from 1 to 36 and 0 and 00. Now the rules for 1 through 36 is half of 1 through 36 is even, half is odd. I write that down. Half of 1 through 36 is even, half is odd. But 0 and 00 are neither. Now, I don't know how to spell neither because it's N-E-I or N-L-E, so
It's
I'm just gonna
N-E-I-T.
say, it's not even and not odd. Okay? So, and the question will say that. Is it N-I-E or N-E-I?
N-E-I.
N-E-I, I always get those wrong. I know the I before E except after, but I found that to be incorrect. So I don't trust it. So what do? Well, the question will say, find the probability against, find the odds against winning with an even number. And then they're going to say, that's A, And then B is going to be, suppose you bet $500. Okay, I'm going to get to that in just a minute. I'm going to explain B when we get there. But there's the question. A roulette wheel has numbers from 1 to 36. That 36 could be 30, it could be 28, it could be 38, it could be 40. Okay? That could change. So you need to underline that. That number could change. All we got to do is divide by 2, and that's even and odd. Okay? And this right here will be in there. And then they'll say, what are the odds against winning with an even number? And then suppose you bet $500 on winning with an even number. So I'm going to give you all a minute to write all that down. I'm going to make this smaller. If I had training, I could do this easier. Let's make this smaller. Let's go with group. And let's take this guy and make him smaller. All right. So the first thing you do is find out what's even. Because this right here is what?
The winning.
Winning. That's from a very, oh, shut up. Winning is success. All right, so probability of an even number. Probability of an even number is equal to, well, what's half of 36? 18. Let's see, 38. Therefore, the probability of not even is equal to 20 over 38. And that's where you get, because a lot of people would say the probability of not even is 18 out of 38. And that is incorrect. And that's where they get you on these questions. This is a standardized test question also, so you need to make that little note there. Okay? This is the complement. The complement is what makes up the whole. If I give you 35 cents out of $1, what's the complement of 35 cents? 65 cents. If I tell you there's 200 people at work today and 70 of them are sick, what's the complement of 70 to 200? 130. So the complement is what makes up the whole. If 18 are even, then 20 are not even. And remember, I told you that there's a difference between guilty and not guilty and guilty and innocent. That's why I tell people, when you're thinking about the failure, it's always going to have an X through it. Don't start thinking. How many times you've been told not to think? Okay, here's one of those times. Don't start thinking and saying, well, the probability of even is 18 and the probability of not even is 18. No, it's not, because you got those two green spots there. Okay, so I'm going to do my probability, my odds against. Here we go. So my success is even. My failure is with the red X. So that's going to be 20 over 38 divided by 18 over 38. And what happens when you divide a fraction by a fraction?
You multiply.
By the
Reciprocal.
And what should happen each time? Your 38s will, your numerator and your
Cancel
denominator
out.
will do what?
Cancel.
And that's what's supposed to happen. That's why you do this with fractions and not depend on the idiot box. Okay? You do it with fractions so you see that these two cancel. And your odds against is 20 to 18. We'll reduce that down to what? 10 to 9? Or 10 over 9? Or 10 to 9? Those are your three possible answers. Can be written three different ways. Now, suppose you bet $500. Then you take that $500 bet and you multiply it by 10 over 9. So if somebody take 500 and take your handy dandy calculator and multiply by 1.19 or whatever, or 1 point whatever, or 10 over 9. Somebody give me that number.
555 and 56 cents.
$555.56. Now somebody tell me, is that good or bad? That sucks.
That's bad.
Yes. Why? Why is it bad? At $500, that's 5 $100 bills, and you only got $55 to take home. Why does that suck?
Because you only had $55.
You only won $55.
$55.
You don't go to Vegas to win $55. So what does this mean? Well,
That
it
is,
means
it's a
something.
fail.
It means, somebody tell me what the probability of winning is in this case. I'm going to put this in green up here. There's a reason I'm doing this. Somebody give me 18 over 38 with a probability of the decimal. Two places.
0.47.
0.47.
0.47, yeah.
You got a 50% chance of winning. A little bit less than 50% chance. So we're going to go over here and we're going to write down, heck, the probability of winning is high. Probability of winning is high. Therefore, the odds against is low. There's two entities that are not in the business of giving away money. Somebody tell me what those businesses are.
Insurance and casinos.
Well, you got half of it right. Okay? You're right. Insurance is true too. But insurance is kind of like a bank. Okay? It is, because they both are they're both in the stock market. Okay? You got it right. Okay? The two that I was thinking of was banks and Vegas. Okay? Banks and Vegas. Why? Because the bank and the insurance companies, just like you said, okay, they take your payment. And what do they do with it? Oh, they just put it in the nest egg somewhere. No. They take your payment and they run it through the stock market. Did you know that? No. They do it on paper. Okay? That's why you're guaranteed, that's why the government insures your bank account for so much money. Okay? Because they take that money on paper and they run it through the stock market and they invest it. Okay? You still got $500 in the bank, but what did the bank make off your $500 while it was in the savings account?
A profit.
They probably make $200 or $300 or $2,000 or $3,000. I don't know. Depends on what they invested in. Okay? And I guarantee you that somebody in this room, which means Easley and Oconee, didn't know that they do that. They do. That's why they have IRAs, 401ks. They take that money and they invest it. And anything that you make, they put it back in your savings account, which is nickel and dime stuff. And then whatever else they make over the nickel and dime stuff, they put in their what? In their pocket. Same thing with insurance companies. Do you think that they collect all this money and they put it in a savings account and they just pull the claims from that savings account? No. They take your premiums and they invest it. And then they give you your money if you claim something. If you have a wreck, then they take that money and claim it. Other than that, it stays in the stock market. Okay? So, the two entities that are not into is bank/insurance companies and what? Vegas. So if the probability is high, they're going to make the odds what?
Low.
Low. And that's why you're only bringing home $56. Now make sure you understand that you're bringing home $56. Why aren't you bringing home $555.56? You started with $500. Now you all make sure you know that. You're bringing home, you're netting $56 or $56. Now you need to write that down as a net because you started with 500. They'll get you on a test with that. Be careful. Okay? You bring home $55.56. Now I'm going to change it. Okay? So we're going to erase all this stuff. Okay? I'm going to erase most of it, if it'll let me. Because I'm going to get close to this picture and it's going to... There. Erase all of this, because you got it in your notebook. And I want you find the odds against 0. Want that marble to fall on 0. That would be winning. If the marble falls on 0, the roulette wheel's turning clockwise, the marble's going counterclockwise. When it falls, if it falls in 0, you're betting $500 on 0. So that means you're going to do the probability of 0 and the probability of what?
Not 0.
Not 0.
The red X to it. The denominator is still 38. So I'll write that down for you. So what is the probability of 0? 1. And what is the probability of not 0?
0.
Okay, do it. Do A and B. We are not going to have class Wednesday. Okay? I will post a video, and it will be going over additive law and multiplicative law. Make sure you watch that video because I'm going to pick up with 7E when we get back Friday. Everybody understand that? Yeah, I'll take my mama to the doctor and I won't let her drive because she don't need to be driving with mean people.
I understand that.
I mean,
That's why we don't let Miss. That's why we're not letting Miss Jeter know what time exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
Sense of humor.
What?
I said, I'm so glad you have a sense of humor.
I do.
See, when you get out in the real world and start working, you're going to be doing good. All the other people there in Pendleton, they're going to be in a closet.
I've been working.
I'm talking when you finish your degree.
Yeah, getting my RN, baby.
She's going to be all right.
It's one of those places you hope to never see her at work.
You know, they're going to be in a corner office and down the hall. Nobody talks to them. They just sit there. Y'all ever seen SpongeBob when he loses his holes and he becomes normal? Hello? How
Yeah.
are you? That's the Pendleton campus. Hello?
Stop.
What?
Stop. They look. They're smiling, and they look.
Oh,
they
they're
speak every
smiling?
morning when they.
Wow.
Yeah, they're always
They show
smiling.
emotion.
They
They show
do?
emotion there.
They're just introverts. They just don't talk.
No, they're not. They speak every morning before you.
But yeah, before I get here, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pendleton, y'all suck, okay? You suck.
You see what I'm talking about?
I know, it's called conditioning. They've been conditioned for 12 years, and then they go up Pendleton, and they're conditioned at Pendleton because those people up there don't have a life, and that's why they don't talk. So, and they think
I don't hear
I'm crazy
Anderson doing
because
much
I let
talking.
students talk. What?
I don't hear Anderson doing much talking.
Don't get them
what you said?
started. They're all riled
Oh,
up.
okay. Okay. Mr. Poor has to get them riled up. I understand.
Mr.
Okay.
Poor has to drink at least 3 Mountain Dews to get woke up.
Oh, okay.
Got them kick slurps going.
Yeah. I mean, he has to drive all the way from Honey Path, so, you know.
It takes him a minute. I understand.
I bought those rails for $50. That's pretty good. Yeah. No, he bought the guy that I met lived in Hodges, and he's the fire chief somewhere. I don't know where he's the fire chief. I think he said maybe Lawrence. I don't know. But anyway, he bought a 2016 truck and it had black rails on it. He didn't like black. He wanted chrome. So I said, well, that's fine with me. I like old black.
That's usually.
Mine's about to fall apart.
Get the best deals if somebody don't want something.
Yeah, exactly. But he bought that truck off the internet. They had the wrong price on it. He bought that 2016 Dodge truck. It was a 2500 4-door for $14,000.
What?
Yeah. He called it
What?
on. It was supposed to be like 24,000.
Yeah.
And said, good luck. I mean, golly. I mean, my truck is a 2004, and I can't find another one like mine for less than $12,000. I'm trying to find one. So if anybody sees a
He get a gas
2004,
engine, though? He got a gas engine?
no, diesel. Yeah, diesels were higher.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, so here we go. We're gonna take that dang old 1 over 37, because that's failure, 37 over 38, and divide it by 1 over 38, and that's multiplied by 38 over 1.
Bless you.
So that's going to give us a 37 to 1,
Sorry. No, you didn't.
37 to 1, and 37 to 1. Now, somebody take that $500 and multiply it by 37 to 1, which is 37. Somebody give me the, what's the total?
18,500.
18 and a half.
18,500.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you netted 18,000. Now, is that what people go to Vegas for?
Yes.
That's what people go to Vegas for.
And that's how they lose money.
That's how they lose money, because the probability of winning is so what?
Low.
Low.
So let's write that down. The probability is low. You're probably not going to win. Probability of winning is low. And somebody take 1 divided by 38. When the probability is low, your odds against are high.
0.26.
0.026.
Therefore, if you win what?
An
A
egg.
lot. You win a lot. But the trap is you ain't gonna, it's gonna be being struck by lightning. That's why the lottery, you gotta make sure you play the lottery. Like I play it once or twice a week, can I buy one ticket? Why? Because one ticket is the same as buying a million tickets. The probability is still 0.00. Now, you may take it to the 10,000th digit, and you might have a 1 down there at the 10,000th place, but it's still 0.00. So, a person buying a million tickets is kind of dumb compared to a person buying one ticket, because technically they have the same chance of winning. So you got to look at gambling the same way. If you go into Las Vegas saying, "Oh, well, I need to win this money because I need a new car," no, that ain't the way it works. Okay, you walk into with $100 and you throw a couple of bets down, and then if you win, great, you walk out with the money. That's the way gambling is. But some people, and there are people that turn it into a legitimate business, but they also end up, being on the 15th floor of the Hyatt and shooting up a daggum concert because they're in debt so much. Okay? And that's what happened out there in Vegas. That guy was way in debt. Let's do a nerd. I'm going to let y'all do this one. I'm not going to write down anything. I'm going to let y'all do it. I'm going to erase everything except for the question. And then I want you to do and the reason I'm giving you 2 or 3 questions is this is a test question, and it's also a standardized test question. You're going to see that roulette wheel. And this time, you're going to do 0 and or 00. So that's, instead of 1, it's going to be 2, and I want you to work out the math. 0 or 00. And it changes just a little bit, but we're also going to change the bet to $1,000.
So basically, you're just losing $1,000.
I just want to change the numbers a little bit, so that way you have 3 problems in your notebook to go by when you see this.
You have a work email.
Goodness gracious.
You have a work email.
Must be Miss Jeter getting a hold of her computer again.
I know. I sent you about 15 emails this weekend. Take your time.
I gotta. That's midterm grades are due the 17th. When is the 17th?
Today.
Oh, crap.
Today, honey, today.
Shit. I gotta do that. Okay, I gotta do that. No wonder they're blowing up my phone.
All your different classes needing the midterms today.
Yeah, but there's only a few that have high school students in them. It's the one that have high school students. They say they're due, they're just reminding me, but they'll probably go crazy and I'll probably get a phone call before lunchtime, even though they're due by 8 o'clock tonight. Anyway. All right, so here we go. 2, probability of winning is going to be 2 over 36. Therefore, the probability of not winning will be 34 out of 36. The odds against is the probability of failure over the probability of success multiplied by 36 over 2. And that gives you 17 to what?
1.
17 to 1. And somebody multiply 17 times 1,000. Might need to use your calculator.
17K.
17.
17,000. So you net 16,000. And that's how you do odds against.
Wait, you're doing it out of 36 or 38?
If you put 36 at the bottom, it's 38
Oh, sorry,
total.
my bad. 38.
So,
38.
which would mean
that'd
it'd be
be
19K.
And that would be 36. So it'd be 18. Right? Somebody check me.
19.
Or 19. Yeah, 19 and 19 is 38. So that'd be 19,000. Thank you.
We're here for you.
You're supposed to say when I make an error, you're supposed to say it when I make the error, not
We're here
afterward.
for you.
Again, that's when all the people say it. After you say it, then they say,
You're
oh, yeah,
wrong.
you're wrong. You're supposed to make it up here. That's when you're supposed to say it.
Anything to make your life better.
Yeah, anything to make it more miserable. Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
We're here for you.
We are
Yeah.
here for you anytime of the
Support. Thank you, Pendleton. Settle down, Pendleton.
day. There.
All right. Now, let me go ahead and touch on what we're going to go over, or what you're going to see on the video, because I'm finished with whatever is it 7A? I hate this book.
Yes, 7A.
7A. Okay, 7B and 7C. I'll go over those right quick, and then you'll see a video on them. 7B should be what we call the additive law. And the next one, 7C, should be the multiplicative law. And they're pretty simple.
Wait,
Okay?
7 is the law.
The additive law is when you have a question and they say, I want the probability of A or B. Okay? And I want to go right quick. I want to go check right quick because I always get this confused. No matter how many.
7C is the law of large numbers.
What?
7C is the law of large numbers.
I'll forget it then. I'm not going. I'm covering the most. I've already covered the law of large numbers. They don't even ask you any questions on the law of large numbers. Just don't worry about it. These are the two things we're going to talk about. That's what I'm going to test you on. I've already told you about the law of large numbers. But right quick, let me move over to. Hold on just a second. Which is. I hate it. Does this. There. Which one did you say that was law of large numbers?
7C.
The 7B must be the additive and multiplicative law.
7B is combining probabilities.
Yeah. So we'll go there and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because I always get it mixed up. One is and one is or. They should have, that's the multiplicative law, or is the there it is. There's or. Okay, overlap. Or. I just wanted to make sure they're overlap. Okay. So let me get out of or. Or is additive law. And is multiplicative law. Always get them mixed up. So write down or. We're going to put or in red for the additive law. And the question will say, what is the probability of O or R negative? It'll have the or in the last sentence, and it'll say, what is the probability of blank or blank? And you also have to remember to always subtract the overlap. And we're going to go through that. Okay? Always subtract the overlap. The multiplicative law is the word and you have to make sure that it is with replacement or without replacement. Okay? Let me give you an example. Let's say that I give you a bag of marbles. Okay? Not Marlboros for some of y'all that's in the Marlboro Club, but marbles. And I tell you to pick a marble, write it down, and then put it in your pocket. What does that do to the rest of the bag?
Gives
It
them a greater
messes up
chance.
the statistics. But if I tell you to put the marble back in the bag after you write it down, that doesn't mess up the statistics. So, with replacement is independent. That means that the statistics for the future draws are not going to be messed up. Without replacement is dependent. That means that the numbers are going to be messed up for the next draw because you put the marble in your pocket. Okay? Now, those are the two things that I will go over in the video for Wednesday. Okay, we're going to say this again. We do not have class Wednesday. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
So you will go to my YouTube and you will look up additive law and multiplicative law, and it will be the last video. It'll probably be after this video, and you will watch it and you'll be able to work on the homework. Because Friday, I'm going to cover 7E. Okay? All right. Y'all get out of here and have a good day.
You too.
I'll see y'all Friday.
See you Wednesday.